Folks, this is a story about a murder that occurred on South Congress and Monroe in 1911. John Guest was a German immigrant who came to Austin and had a saloon at Congress and Monroe. He also married a woman by the name of Teague, Minnie Teague. She was from the Teague family who lived in the Westlake, Eanes area. They were a rough Scottish-Irish clan who worked the land, cleared land, especially of cedar, using the cedar as fence posts for their livelihood. This clan was known as cedar choppers. That is where the term comes from. Well, Mamie's younger sister, Myrtle, also didn't like the country life. So she came into town and was living with John and Minnie. One day, word got back to the elder brother, John Teague, that John Guest was somehow being abusive to Myrtle. One day, John Guest got all liquored up, came into town bringing his Winchester rifle, found Guest in the saloon, came in with guns blazing, and shot and killed Guest. He also was trying to kill the bartender, but the bartender was able to duck behind the bar and out the back door. Meanwhile, Teague ran out of the saloon, headed west. He encountered Deputy George on South First. They exchanged gunfire. Teague shot the deputy multiple times. And the next day in the Statesman, the newspapers proclaimed that a desperado had run amok in South Austin, that the gunshots were heard all through South Austin. Well, it came for trial, and during the trial, Mrs. Teague, John's mother, got up on the stand and said her family was suffering from mental defects. He was going to be actually executed. But for one lone juror that took to heart what Mrs. Teague said, would not budge. So John ended up getting 99 years. After 10 years, he was pardoned by then Governor Paul Ferguson. There's much not known about what happened to John after that point. But his sister Minnie lived a very long life. She once again married, actually a couple of years later, and of all people, she ended up marrying the bartender that escaped out of the back door. He was also a German immigrant by the name of Max Himmelreich. Well, Max ended up dying in 1934, and Mamie became a widow again. She went on to marry yet again, and spent the rest of her days here in Austin, and died at the age of 104. Thank you, folks.